Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks all about my cars and trucks and SUVs and my dogs and motorcycles and the kid and the state of times. And more there. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Appreciate those who support me and comment, and got some really nice subscribers. Thank goodness, that really are very nice. Appreciate all that. And oh my gosh, it's Friday morning. It's actually a humid day. Pretty humid here, even though we had some rains come in last night and thunderstorm. And get that grass growing again. But definitely is dry. But the grass, just for some reason, isn't kind of... Come on, Scout! You're not going that way. Get over here. Scout! What are you up to? The dogs were just out. Scout! Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the... what are we doing today? What's the week in reverse conversations? We talked about the payment plan. We talked about the confidence conversations, and we talked about the chaos, and we talked about the doom and gloom. Yeah. So, what was it again? The payment plan, the confidence, chaos, doom and gloom. And I thought to myself, the last second this morning, why don't we have the reverse conversation? Yeah. Have we had the reverse conversation? Well, have you ever done something in your life where you wish you could reverse it? And who hasn't had that experience? Especially if you ever crash your car. Who hasn't had that? Or you've gotten a speeding ticket where you just are so like, oh my gosh, I just wish I had done this. The other morning, I just about had a crash in my nice Power Boost. I mean, literally. I just about pulled it out in an intersection where a person would have T-boned me into my driver's side door, because this car was perfectly aligned with another vehicle when another vehicle was turning right in an intersection, and it was totally hidden to the left of that vehicle, and it just totally blended in where you didn't even see it until the last second the guy turned. So if I would have turned out in the intersection, it looked like there was nobody coming down the road, but this car appeared out of nowhere. Wow. Yeah, I'd be talking about how I wish I reversed that decision, right? Here's the kid's Ram. Kid just loves this Ram truck. What's it about the trucks? What is it about trucks? So, I mean, what it is about trucks? I mean, I grew up such the truck nut. That was my passion, and it still is. I mean, look at my fleet of vehicles. Anybody here watching me can see this majority trucks, not cars. And yeah, do I miss my GT500? Sometimes I do. But here's what I was thinking to myself. What is the difference between a motorcycle and a car? And I mean, yeah, I know people will be like, well, it has 2 wheels versus 4 wheels. Well, yeah. But what is the most common thing that the motorcycle doesn't have as far as a transmission goes that a car has? And the easy answer is it doesn't have reverse. It's interesting. A lot of people are calling me out. Not a lot. I mean, but some people are just like, oh my gosh, what a mistake. So many people think this is $50,000. I have numerous comments of people think I got charged, way overcharged, and blah, blah. Yeah, well, I didn't. I actually did not get overcharged. I paid $43,199 for that CVO Road Guide because it's $42,999. Then there's a $1,200 upcharge, supposedly by not freight and setup or anything else. I saw it in the book. They showed me in the Harley-Davidson dealers. Harley-Davidson charges them for the CVO premium product. Be so lucky to get one as everybody gets one, right? But here's the thing. So let's look at the Honda Goldwyn back here. Out of all my motorcycles here, this actually has a reverse, which is so cool. See right there, that little tab right there? You can put this bike in reverse. And it's a no-brainer. I mean, a smaller motorcycle like the CV650, even to a degree, the Street Bob and the Chief. Yeah, do you really need a reverse? Nah, not so much. But when you're getting these touring bikes, especially a full tour bike with a tour pack in the back of it, I mean, you're at a 900 plus weight motorcycle. I mean, you're basically, you put your gear in that bike and the fuel, and you're 1,000 pounds. So if you don't know how to ride that motorcycle and how to park it correctly on a grade, you find out real quick you've made a big mistake. I mean, that's a huge mistake, because once you go downhill on a 900-pound motorcycle and you've got to back it back up and you don't have a backup, wow. Yeah, ask me how I know. There's many stories of people having to get somebody to help them push the bike out of its spot. So you always pull up and then you back into the grade so that you're going backwards on that grade. But when you come back out, you can just pull out with the motor and the transmission that gives you that forward speed. So yeah, the reverse conversations. But what? Here, let's get the dogs here. Get everybody up here this morning. Get Friday going. And come on, pups. Let's go. All right, yeah. It's actually warm. You would think that the overcast day would be a little cooler day, but it's not. It's humidor time. So let's get the air conditioning on. Let's get the routine going of the office. It's my sticker up there is lasting. See that Bronco? It never peeled back. Look at that there. The Lego, the Charger, Challenger, the Demon set. See there? 2018. Yeah, we would like to have those things, right? Pretty cool, right? We're picking up. I saw a really nice Dodge Challenger Super Stock, used, priced very reasonable. 2022 model. I was thinking, man, I should pick one of those. But I just think these Challengers, all these Hellcat Challengers and Chargers, I think down the road, those are going to be taken. But you know, the market has actually softened up in those. I kind of did some research the other night, and sure enough, the prices are reversing for right now. So the market is soft. I mean, I do know that when I got a number on my Charger just here a few months ago, that it was soft numbers. So what's that all about? Well, it's all because you can still go to the dealership and still go buy one, order one, even though a lot of people still do not realize that these things are done. I mean, I guarantee a third to half of the people are clueless that the Dodge Challenger is done. And so for that, I just don't think that everybody's clamoring these things in the masses, because they just don't realize it. But then they'll be reversing their thought process, right? People will be like, hey, man, I wish I would have known that. And so, do I need the light on this morning? A little bit. I guess I'm going to get my computer over here kind of working right too. See what's going on here. So, yeah, so what spurred the reverse conversation? Well, a guy named Donald Trump did. After seeing if you're not abreast of what's going on with Donald Trump and the mug shot of the history of the country, the first former president having a mug shot, is that factual? I think it is. So yeah, so I just think to myself, wow, reverse. What has gotten Donald Trump into all this, trouble, right? Well, we know it's because he wanted to reverse the election. Yeah, so that's what really made me think to myself this morning at the last second. I just thought, what are we talking about today? And so here's, so kind of keep it the car theme and all that other stuff first, and kind of talk about the politics later, or state of times, or whatever. And man, I need my coffee. I didn't sleep all last night. I was up like 2 hours last night, just in the middle of the night reading things, and Jesus Christ. I don't know, it's nice. I don't know what it's about. Just couldn't sleep. I think sometimes when you overwork yourself, your body just doesn't want to shut down. Who hasn't had that experience? Yeah, so anyways, in the car industry, one was the first vehicle that had reverse. I have no idea. I didn't even look it up. So there's the first thing I thought about. Then I thought about the manual transmissions and how you had four typically. Well, you go to the column. What was that? 3 on the column. And then, the reverse, and how that linkage and everything. If you think about the linkage, man, I gotta get the fan on this thing. It's warm. This one is just really muggy, sticky. Yeah. Well, I was doing a concrete job today, and man, I don't know, man. It's just gonna be a sauna if I go do that today. Yikes. It just doesn't end. It's just incredible what's going on with me. But anyways, the the linkage, you think about how the transmission reverses itself in a gearbox transmission and how that, shifts the forward motion to the reverse motion. And then I thought to myself, now like the electric vehicles, where it's push the pedal, you just turn a knob, or you push a button. My dad's Hyundai Santa Fe, his has push button, park, drive, neutral, reverse, and that push button's been around a long time. So, and then I think to myself, the Harley, I remember years ago seeing the Harley trikes. So if you have a Harley trike, they have to put a reverse, capability under the transmission, the bike. And then I even know the owner owned Frederick Harley Davidson. The owner up there had a really nice CVO and the touring edition, CVO Limited. And I noticed like this big box or something on the side of his bike or something. And I was like, what is that? It's like, that's reverse. So the owner had that put on his Harley. So just like I said, when you're in, believe it or not, these motorcycles, these 900-pound, 1,000-pound motorcycles, it does not, you can have a grade where you're trying to go backwards, it could be a 3% grade. And you'd be amazed at how you're not pushing that bike backwards. If you're not a very strong person and then just trying to get the grip, if you're in a rainy day or something in a parking lot and you don't have good, heels, wow. So, Chad, when did the first car, or the train get the reverse feature, right? Trains have reverse features. So who designed the reverse? And so then you think to yourself, how could we reverse all this crazy pricing on cars? Who hasn't had the buyer's remorse? Who hasn't had that, where you totally go out and buy something, let's just keep it to the car, or a truck, or SUV, it could even be a motorcycle. And after you buy it, you totally want to reverse your decision of buying that vehicle. And in some states, there's laws that protect you for that they give you X amount of time to reverse your decision. In other states, I think once you sign it, it's yours. There's no option to reverse it. I don't know. Every state has different laws and guidelines and other things. So, yeah, but who hasn't gone to bed at night and woken up at 2 in the morning and you just have such a buyer's remorse that you've made a huge mistake, what you did? And a lot of people, even for me, I had a hard time coming to closure to buy that CVO Road Glide because I just felt that giving up that Fast Johnny and that CVO Limited, I just felt like I would regret that decision. And for the most part right now, I don't. I haven't had regret because that motorcycle it's such a different riding motorcycle. It is such a more refined Harley Davidson, and it's more powerful, and it's a fun bike, and I really do like the way it's set up. So, and for me, since I have so many different vehicles, yeah, can I go buy another touring bike? Come on. If I want to go buy, I'd probably rather, in some ways, I don't know. I'll have to kind of sit it out, I think, a little bit because the new touring models for 2024 will be updated with most likely the CVO similarities. Won't have a 121 motor, but it'll have probably the 117. And so part of me, even though they have a CVO Road Glide Tour, or Limited, whatever you call that, with the Tour Pack, that's availability, but it's a burgundy and a chrome bike, and maybe in person it looked pretty cool. So, so part of me is I do like the, the creature comforts of those touring bikes with the heated seat. The heated grips, that bike here has heated grips, but having that heated seat, having the lowers are what's down near the highway bars. where you're shielded from all the wind and the rain and other stuff. So that's really nice to have. And usually you have the bigger windshield. Then you have the tour pack behind you where you can go and you can put a lot of gear on that bike. And you really can. I mean, people know that ride these touring bikes. You can go across the country and live off your bike. And I lost that by getting up that CVO Limited. That's where I was borderline like, wow, do I do it? And at the same time, I thought maybe I just get the Indian Pursuit. Man, it's such a tug. It's a tug back and forth between the Indian and the Harley Davidson. I mean, my daughter so loves the Harley Davidson product so much more than the Indians. And I mean, it's right now. I'm going to sell that Indian Super Chief. Anybody's interested in that nice Indian Super Chief, I just put it up for sale. I put it on Cycle Trader and Marketplace for $17,999. It has like 5,800 miles on it. My daughter just really has come to closure. It's the bike, the foot controls. She just isn't feel good on that bike. You know, and you hear that from your kid. I'm just like, you know what? It's not worth it. She so regrets on Sunday of our Skyline Drive that we didn't take the ST. So my daughter, she is such the Harley person. She loves a Harley. To me, it's like, is it time to part with the Indians? I mean, because if you watch my videos here the past year, I bet you most people would say the majority of videos that we see is the Harleys, not the Indians. So I don't know. Even the Challenger Elite, I should sell that. I mean, in all reality, I've put it out there in the market for $36,999. It has 583 miles on it. It has tabs mufflers on it, which I don't like. They're too loud. It's not a big deal to switch them out. But I've already had a guy offer me $30,000 cash. He'll be here this weekend to buy it. Well, it's in Tennessee. He probably thinks it's here in Virginia, but I've already had a guy offer me $30,000 cash for the bike right now. I just put on Marketplace yesterday afternoon at like 4 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock last night, I got a Marketplace response. And some be like, don't do it. Yeah, that's a beautiful bike. No doubt, it's a great bike. But it's a tug of war of, what are we riding? For the kid, what does she ride? What are we two up on? So, in so many ways, it's the Harley and Indian, two bikes going down the road. It's not really big a deal, but at the same time, it's all, could I reverse? If you go back a year ago, Labor Day weekend, you would see a video of me, late August, of me going to Tennessee to pick up my Indian Pursuit that I special ordered on my birthday, and I couldn't get the deal done. Performance Finance, that carries the Indian motorcycle financing, wouldn't add a third loan for for that deal, and I just couldn't part. I just didn't want to part at that time with my Challenger or my Roadmaster Limited. But to reverse everything back, it's crazy on how I end up selling in the end. I mean, there's more to it. Well, no, I got to take that back. What happened is, when I bought the Elite in June, I got to reverse my thoughts here. When I bought the Elite Challenger in June, I got rid of my two Indians, my Roadmaster and my other Challenger, but I still had my Chieftain downstairs that you saw me ride over Skyline weekend, the Elite Series. So for me, I had to come to a crossroads to get the Pursuit. I had to give up one of those bikes to be able to do a deal, and I just wouldn't part with either one of them. Or in hindsight, I probably should have just gave back the Elite and just taken the Pursuit, because that's really what I wanted. I never had my eyes set, so to reverse everything back. The whole point is, a year ago, September, my daughter wasn't on Harleys, and the Indian dealer, the whole financing just pissed me off so much. I went up the road and I bought 2 Harleys, and I added 2 more Harleys to my Harley Davidson financial portfolio. So Harley Davidson was carrying 4 motorcycles, but Performance Finance for Indian wouldn't give me more than 2 loans. Just a total joke. And so that ended up creating the true love of Harley Davidson for my daughter. And that's where it kind of totally put me back into buying Harleys. Yeah, so if I could reverse that from a year ago, if I would have bought that Pursuit, then the kid never would have been exposed to the Harley Street Bob or the Harley product per se. She'd still be on the Indian Scout, and then I probably would have thought about getting her the Indian Chief, but she wouldn't really know the difference of the bikes. That's why some people are like, yeah, but you buy all these different things. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to ride these things and come to closure what seems to make more fun. And that's my challenge right now, because I have a lot of fun in both bikes. It's getting deep. I know people watch my channel. Yeah, geez, man, it's all about you, right? Yeah, right. Well, it is all about me because it's my own YouTube channel. I just try to talk about things that are going on. But here's the thing. So yesterday, I end up going to Baltimore, Maryland, and borderline, I was kind of starting to reverse my plan of what I did. Yesterday I was over in Columbia, Maryland, Elkridge, Maryland, right outside Baltimore. Well, if you watch my channel, I put the new e-boards of those rough country in that Ford F-250 Tremor, and then immediately I put those factory Tremor running boards on Marketplace for $300, and a good week at least has gone by since I did that, at least, if not more. And I've had a few hits there and there. Well, one guy here said, hey, I work in Baltimore, and my schedule is really challenging, but I definitely want those things. So I said, well, text me your address. I'll be up in your area. So yesterday, my daughter and I go on an adventure to go meet this guy at his office to drop off his running boards. Well, meanwhile, my wife, this is just a never-ending thing. Who doesn't? If you're married, it gets complicated. You have all your devices. Yeah, the Waze, my wife ends up using my Waze. It's a long story, but it seems when she goes to Waze, she somehow activates the no toll driving. So I'm in Elkridge, Maryland yesterday, and I put this guy's address in, and it's shooting me through the whole Baltimore City, Camden Yards area, the Inner Harbor there, and I'm just like, but I can see this guy's business on the map is right next to the tunnel. The Inner Harbor Tunnel of Baltimore. So now my daughter and I go on this freaking, rabbit hole of going through the city of Baltimore. And I told my daughter that you're going to witness the guy's got a squeegee in his hand to clean your windshield. And if you don't give the guy some money, he'll probably scratch your car or break your window, which, does anyone know those stories? And I said, then you're going to witness the guy that's a Looney Tune that's walking through the streets with no shirt on, doped up, probably raging mad, trying to hit people. Okay, so this is no lie. So we go into the inner city of Baltimore because the Waze, unbeknownst to me, has it where it doesn't want me to pay tolls. So, well, let me go through. I could have just gone right through the Inner Harbor Tunnel, and I would have just been right there at this guy's, job. Okay, so now we're going through this city that takes like 24 minutes. And sure enough, what do we witness? The squeegee guy. So my daughter got to see that. Right down near Camden Yards, where they play baseball and the Ravens and everybody else. And then sure enough, up the road through the city, here's this guy walking down the street, raging mad. Borderline goes up and swings at this young little boy and about takes the kid out. Didn't hit him, but this guy's just totally. And this guy looks like a freaking fighter. I mean, the guy's ripped. This guy is in shape like you can't believe. Totally spaced out, totally methed up, or whatever he's doing, and he's literally just swinging away, wanting to fight somebody. And he goes up to this little boy and takes a swipe at this little boy with his mother walking across the street. Oh my gosh, man, just where we are, man. How do you reverse things? So, anyways, we end up finding this guy's business. Well, this guy, here you go. This guy, really cool guy, his name's Eric. He works at a shipping yard facility that handles all the coal for the company he works for that ships it overseas. So he unloads all the coal cars into ships. He doesn't, but his crew does. He manages the facility. It's a 24/7 facility. So I learned a lot from this guy. So all this coal right now coming from West Virginia and Pennsylvania comes here to the Inner Harbor, to the Baltimore terminal where they do all the shipping and all the containers and everything else. And I may even post that in this video here just to be able to see what I saw yesterday. And sure enough, so get this, all the coal is going to India for the most part. Other parts going to Saudi Arabia. It's all going into the Asian, Middle Eastern, provinces of of the world. So that's all it is. I mean, so the coal business, believe it or not, here in this country is doing phenomenal because they're shipping coal worldwide to all the dirty countries that are burning up coal to power their energy. And while we're getting hammered on to get rid of our ICE vehicles and ICE motorcycles because we're the problem of the world. I mean, it's so bad. It is so bad. And yeah, this guy's on the right page in life. We start talking about what's going on, and we really great guy, nice guy. But it was just such an eye opener to just hear this guy talk about the coal, the reality of coal. So yeah, coal. And you just think, when is a Looney Tune person going to get in charge that's going to shut down this coal industry in this country because it's supporting what these other countries are using it for? But you know as well as I do, then they'll just go somewhere else. They'll just find a mining operation somewhere else, and they'll just continue to do what they're doing. I mean, it's so bad. It's oh my gosh, it's just beyond believable. Anybody here that's watching my channel, if you look at the last 3 years since a guy named Joe Biden has come into office, can anybody here honestly put a comment on my channel and tell me what good this guy's doing for his country? And that's the whole reason I thought of this conversation, is look at Donald Trump. He wanted so bad to reverse that election because he knew, no doubt in his mind, what is going to start to play out. And here's the thing. The challenge for Donald Trump is not only the media machine, but it's the big business that does nothing to do with him reversing the agenda policies. Think this through. If Donald Trump would have been reelected in 2020, would there be an Inflation Reduction Act? There would not be. There would not be this huge green agenda going on in this country. There's no way that this country would have this Inflation Reduction Act, aka the New Green Deal, that's enticing all these businesses to come here and set up shop for the green agenda. So there's a huge challenge that lies ahead for Donald Trump. Can he get the big business to believe that if he was in power, he wouldn't reverse all these policies? And then all this infrastructure that all these big businesses are now committing to and investing into, this would be very concerning for anybody that's going in that industry, in that direction, to have a replacement president that doesn't support all this stuff. So you just have to think it through. So the big guys, they're going to fight tooth and nail to not let this guy Donald Trump get back in office. And that's the reason that the Democratic Party didn't want Donald Trump to get reelected, because they knew they couldn't advance all this agendas at the rapid pace that they're doing things. I mean, so wow. If you could reverse things right now, if we could reverse things back to Donald Trump actually being elected, there would be basically 1,000 less people in jail that went to the January 6th. And you have to say to yourself, what if you flipped the coin and the other party had participants show up at the Capitol and do devious things? How would that be handled right now? I mean, I don't know. It gets too deep. It goes to a rabbit hole. I get all that. But you say to yourself, if you could reverse everything back to Trump, what would be different? I mean, would we have lower energy prices? I think most here would raise their hand and say, yeah. But here's the biggest thing. I think that if you could reverse time, I don't think that Russia would be in war with Ukraine. I really think that Trump would have stood his ground and told Russia to go home. Pound sand is what they say. I really think that would have been a whole different ballgame. And keep in mind, the excuse of this administration has been that the Ukraine-Russia war has created these incredibly high food prices, high energy prices, and the billions of dollars. We're like right now, like $74 or $80 billion of money is given to Ukraine, And what you hear from the supporters of all this is that we're not giving them enough money or enough ammunition or enough military warfare to fight Russia. Well, why don't we just take over and then go fight Russia? Hey, do you think Russia is this stupid? They don't know that we're fighting a war for Ukraine in so many aspects? I mean, just beyond unbelievable. So if you reverse that, no war, you wouldn't have had this energy crisis that was supposedly going to happen because of the sanctions on Russia being taken out of the world market, which they never have been removed from the world market. They're still selling oil to India and China and South America. The list goes on and on and on and on. But the excuse of this administration is, hey, but isn't it a coincidence that the green agenda wants you to buy an electric car because gas prices are $6 a gallon? How'd that happen, right? So is it any coincidence that the green agenda wants you to eat less? And hey, the food prices have gone through the roof. I mean, you just start connecting the dots. So if you could reverse everything, would under Trump, would the interest rates right now be at over 7%? Right now, I read an article last night, which I believe is factual. We're at 22-year high now for the mortgages. 22 years now. So 22 years later, the interest rates for buying a house are at the highest level, and the housing market is crashing as we speak. People may not believe it. I see now for sale signs in houses that before were sold instantly. Nope, I'm starting to see for sale signs that week went by, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks went by, a month went by. So things are changing on that. So and that's the whole thing. Donald Trump got a mug shot yesterday because of his personal views of wanting to reverse things. So here's a guy that has fought tooth and nail, and is, in many aspects, people feel he did devious and criminal things, but his message is he didn't want this country to go down the path that it's going, and that's why he wanted to reverse the election, because he knew that the guy named Joe Biden would bring these agendas and policies. It's not Joe Biden, it's Barack Obama. I mean, everybody knows that. So the Joe Biden, Muppet Man. So yeah. So anybody here that's a Joe Biden, hey, great. I'm just glad you're happy with everything being more expensive. I'm glad you're happy that we're in a war with Russia, and we're giving our money to fight it, which it'll be a very long war. Anybody remember the Afghanistan war? Russia was there before we got there. How many years were we in Afghanistan? Accomplished basically not much of anything, 12 years. How long was Russia in war prior to that before we went there? How many years? I mean, this is a war that could go on for years and years and years and years. So, I mean, there's just no way that's interesting. I'm thinking about that right now. So I asked the gentleman, I thought the coal would be going to China. He said, right now, no. The company that he works for is not selling coal to China. He's like, something's going on with China. So China's not, it's part of me. It's like, yeah, China's economy is tanking, and they're probably not willing to pay the monies that other countries are willing to pay for the coal. And they're probably not burning as much because things are going south in China, right? Wow. So yeah, so for Donald Trump, the guy tried to reverse things. And that's the thing about life, as anybody here knows. We all know when the physical movement of mankind, the world, the physics, everything goes one direction. To try to pull it back and reverse it, does it ever work out? It doesn't. That's the challenge. I mean, anybody knows if they've been injured severely from a car crash, anybody that's gone to war and lost an arm or a leg or an eye, or just the emotional, the mental, how you reverse all that, you can't. You can't reverse it. You have to then try to make the better of what has happened to you. And so there's the challenge for us now, is how do we make things better? And how does Donald Trump recover from all this reverse, and get the support for so many others to see that, yes, this country needs to reverse the agendas in so many aspects of education, immigration, lawless cities, district attorneys. I mean, I could talk all morning long, which I'm not going to do it, about all the things under this sitting president and administration has changed, and it's not for the better. And yet everybody's being told to go buy an electric vehicle and it's going to be beautiful. Yeah, right. And then the gentleman yesterday is like, the biggest challenge is the agriculture. I'm like, oh yeah, we know. You know what the Netherlands story? And he didn't even know. So there's just so many things. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. The week in reverse. It's Friday. Time to go to work. Do I go pour concrete today? Wow. Yeah, yikes. Yeah. So anyways, thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate all the nice comments. As I said earlier, hey, share the channel. And what am I up to next? Yeah, do I sell my Indian Challenger Elite? I got a lot of debt sitting around here. So for me, it's more, that's just who I am. I kind of have the ups and downs. And the Indian Challenger is a beautiful bike. But at the end of the day, I can buy an Indian Pursuit that has the premium package and has all the amenities and everything else that Challenger Elite has. So stay tuned for the adventures of me selling a motorcycle. Am I going to Tennessee this weekend to get one, to sell it? I don't know. Hey, have a great day. God bless. Oh, the things you do for people to deliver a set of side steps for an individual that wants my side steps for my Ford F-250 Tremor that I'm delivering to his office. And holy crap, we're in Baltimore. We're in Baltimore here. We're driving around in circles. And we're down the main infrastructure of all the shipping containers. This guy apparently works here at the shipping container facility. But I mean, this is eerie. I mean, I'm in here with all the truckers. Look at this here. Wow.
What the heck?
We'll end up being shipped overseas. Look at this. Here's all the where they unload all the containers and everything. Wow. You think we're in California? Look at this here though. I'm now stuck behind all these guys. Yeah, talk about going on a wild goose chase of all my years selling stuff between Craigslist, Marketplace, Cycle Trader, Auto Trader. This is a first.
Whoa.
Look at this. So now we're going to have to go through a gate. I mean, where are we going? This is crazy.
What?